Good morning, class. I want to talk a little bit about Exam 2. The first thing you should know is that it will be on Wednesday, March 26, 2014, on Blackboard from 1:30 until 4 o'clock p.m. So I am extending the time frame in which you will be allowed to take the exam. However, you will still have the same amount of time to take the exam as you did for exam 1, which means just like exam 1, you'll have 60 minutes to take it. You'll just be able to take it between 1:30 and 4 o'clock p.m. So in terms of critical approaches and the other just topics of discussion that will be on the exam, make sure you review each folder which is on Blackboard. Review them before the day of the exam, because on the day of the exam they will not be available. So download whatever you need so that you can use it during the day of the exam. There are a couple of things that I do want to highlight in terms of critical approaches. The theory of concerted control, we talked about that and how it deals with the team-based approach and how organizations are now using teams or your peers to control you, which is also a subtle method that companies use to control employees in organizations. Other subtle methods might be something like we talked about with Google, in terms of let's offer you food or let's offer you health care at work so that you don't have to leave the office and go home. You can just stay at work to get everything done. In terms of gender, race, and diversity, the TED Talk that we showed in class by Chimamanda Adichie, she's a Nigerian author, that's available on Blackboard, so you can watch that again if you need to. It's under course documents, and then under gender, race, sexuality, and ability. So know some of the key concepts. Remember, she talked about stereotypes and how the issue with stereotypes is not that they're wrong, but that they're incomplete and that they don't tell the entire story. We talked about the 3 phases of socialization. There's some articles on Blackboard in terms of how Zappos hires, in terms of how we should fire an employee. Remember, we talked about being objective, and we did that example in class. We talked a little bit about the culture of firefighters, and there's an article on Blackboard about that as well as the article about Southwest hiring teachers. We did not talk about that in class, so make sure you review it. And then we also talked about some do's and don'ts during the interview, and hopefully that will help you during your Skype interviews that you are doing. And then, of course, we've got groups and teams. We talked about a definition of group, we talked about a definition of team, and then we talked about some differences between groups and teams. And then we especially spent some time talking about virtual teams and some challenges that they face, as well as some solutions to these challenges. There are some articles on Blackboard that you should be familiar with that offer some solutions to the challenges that virtual teams may face. So make sure you are familiar with that as well. And as always, there will be the discussion board that's available. So if you have questions, don't send me an email. Instead, ask the questions on the discussion board so that the entire class can see it. And then I will do my best to answer it in a timely manner. And if you see a discussion question on Blackboard regarding exam 2 that you have an answer to, or some notes that you'd like to share with a classmate, feel free to do that as well. Have a good week. I will see you in a few weeks, and study hard.